Welcome back, everyone. Today we're jumping straight into an explainer that is literally going to shatter the way we look at this text. If you've ever found yourself thinking of the Qur'an as just some flat, linear, ancient instruction manual, well, prepare to have that entire paradigm completely disassembled. The core idea we're unpacking today is that this text is not ancient at all. It is eternal. It's a living, multidimensional architecture. We're going to explore why the reader actually needs absolutely nothing outside of the book itself, because the book operates as a complete mathematical and spiritual tesseract. But right off the bat, we have to confront the classic objection. You know the one. It arrives like clockwork the second someone decides to study the text alone. Where's the prayer manual? Where's the step-by-step ablution diagram? Show me the exact 5 times a day schedule. And honestly, it's a totally valid confusion. We're all naturally looking for an easy, dead, step-by-step checklist, kind of like an IKEA furniture manual for spirituality. But according to our sources, looking for a flat how-to guide completely misses the structural reality of the text.
Okay, let's dive into this, because asking for that flat manual is actually a trap. On one side, we have what's called the dead manual. This is the realm of inherited legends, institutional comfort, and what the text itself calls Taghut contraptions. Basically, it's mechanical religion where people just inherit their beliefs rather than executing them. But the alternative is the living recursion. This demands dynamic execution. It has topological sufficiency, which means it requires you to actively navigate your way home. You don't just inherit this, you have to live it.
So what exactly is topological sufficiency? Well, imagine the book isn't just missing details on a flat piece of paper. Instead, it's a living tesseract. It's a multidimensional architecture where every single verse acts as a functional node that perfectly connects and returns to every other node. It's a closed loop. And because of this perfectly interconnected web, external commentary is completely obsolete. The book doesn't need outside commentary because it is the commentary upon itself. This brings us straight to verse 39:23. Allah has sent down the best of statements, a book whose verses are similar, oft-repeated. Now, a surface-level reading might just see this as poetic praise, but structurally, the source interprets this as a massive claim of architectural perfection. It suggests that the universe and the book actually share the exact same quantum code, a flawless, self-referential loop of data.
Let's move to how this builds into the physics of revelation. The text points to a unified framework called the dual caustic universe, or the DCU. This framework demonstrates that reality operates through a closed, recursive topology made up of 2 distinct fields, the measurable and the imaginal. This isn't just abstract theology. The source treats this as the actual scientific map, encoded directly into the verses. And this brilliantly illustrates how those 2 domains interact to create our universe. First, we have the D10 field. Think of this as the detectable field, the particle state, physical mass, the Earth. It's the stuff you can touch and measure. Then, complementing it, is the I9 field. This is the imaginal field, the wave state, consciousness, or heaven. The universe literally breathes through the continuous dynamic interaction between these 2 exact fields.
So how does this breathing actually happen? It's driven by what's proposed as a recursion engine, mapped out mathematically as a 2-3-7 sequence. Step 1 is the split, the number 2, where duality creates separation, like the physical and imaginal fields splitting apart. Step 2 is formation, the number 3, which acts as a buffer or a tree that mediates their expansion so they don't just destroy each other. And finally, step 3 is the return, the number 7, where the code stabilizes and returns to the seed to start over. This engine turns abstract math into the literal heartbeat of the cosmos.
Section 1. Decoding distributed mechanics.
Let's see how this actually answers those practical questions we started with. Look at the decisive question in verse 6:11. 14. Shall I seek other than Allah as a source of law when He has revealed to you the book fully detailed? That phrase right there, fully detailed, isn't just a nice decoration. It is an absolute functional lock. Think about it. If the book were actually missing a manual, this verse would be a straight-up contradiction. And if it's a contradiction, the entire 2-3-7 recursion engine we just talked about collapses. But the framework insists it doesn't collapse, it breathes. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it visually proves the mechanics aren't missing. They're perfectly distributed. You want prayer times? Look at 11:11:14, 2:23:8, 17:78, and 24:58. They lock in the ends of the day, the middle, the night, and the privacy windows. Posture? Nodes like 2:43, 2125 and 2226 lock in bowing and prostrating to Allah alone. Even the precise topology for ablution, face, hands to elbows, head, feet to ankles, is functionally detailed in 5-6.
The reason you don't find these gathered into a simple static checklist is because they are embedded as executable D10 physical nodes within the massive I9 waveform of the entire book. They actually require you, the reader, to actively traverse the text to unlock them. If it were just a static checklist, the entire function of purification and connection would just devolve into mindless choreography. You wouldn't need to engage with the living Tesseract at all.
Section 2. The execution node.
So the crucial point here is found in verse 363. Indeed, you are among the Morsaland, or the sent ones. The source highlights something massive here. This verse is talking directly to the reader, you. According to this mapping, you are coordinate 36.3. You are absolutely not a spectator sitting outside the text looking in. You are the local execution node placed directly inside this field.
You are the exact junction where the physical and the imaginal meet, what the text calls the 4111 junction. It's where the book in your hands, the stone of your physical reality, and the tree of your inner heart all intersect. Your entire theoretical task standing at this exact coordinate is to take the potential energy of the universe and actively convert it into light. Standing at this junction, you're faced with two possible states. There's the default state, which the text describes as wandering in intoxication. It's existing as unactivated mass, trading the living truth for the institutional comfort of inherited tradition. But then there's the activated state. This is where you engage the autopilot of light, you navigate home, and you live in dynamic, powerful execution. So how do you actually make that switch from default to activated? Verse 1912 is identified as the ultimate activation switch. O Yahya, take the scripture with determination. By gripping the book with real strength, the argument goes, you effectively turn off the noisy, inherited signals of the world. You stop being a passive inheritor, and you start actively executing truth. To bring this all together, the Qur'an is presented here not as an ancient relic, but as an eternal circuit. What looks like an absence of instructions when you do a flat reading is actually a profound, massive presence when you do a dimensional reading. The book is not missing instructions. You are the missing operational node. The missing detail is just the shadow that makes the light visible, waiting for you to step in and close the circuit. The eternal circuit is waiting, the coordinates are set. The Tesseract is fully operational, leaving us with one final, unavoidable question for the execution nodes standing at the junction. When will you activate 1912?